Welcome to this channel. So in the past few days, I have shared that in order for Kung Fu or Wing Chun to move on, we need a scientific standard or an indicator for our training. And thus, I'm pushing for the Vo2max. So disregard of it is a Qigong training, it is a Wing Chun training, or it is a Chinese Kung Fu training, one need to use the Vo2max as the standard indicator. So one know where one is and can monitor or track one's training. Now, there are already a few Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends uh, wrote me and asking all kinds of questions on the Vo2max. And today I'd like to share with you, this is the answer or the response to all our Wing Chun friends or traditional Chinese martial art friends on their questions. So the first thing is, if we want to use the Vo2max as the standard, we need to take proper action. Proper action. Okay? Avoid those Qing mindset. Okay? Please watch my other video on Qing mindset if you don't know what is Qing mindset. So Qing mindset is like everybody have their five senses, and everybody have their magic. Okay? And they learn their Wing Chun where? In Yam Cha. Okay, you sit down in the table in the restaurant or doing Yam Cha, and then you say, my San Punch can punch you this way, and then your Tan Sao can do this way, and then or my 6.5 pole, 6.5 point pole, I give a chopstick, say, oh, I'm gonna do this way, this way. Those are all Qing mindset. You sit on the table while eating your dim sum, and then you talk all kinds of stuff. Well, you are like this thing, like the boxer librarian, living in their own world, okay, or their own fantasy, while not seeing the real life. So it is like those Qing mindset. You have 10,000 type of tan sao. What is the proper tan sao? You have to have this angle and this and that. But yet, after you look at all the 10,000 tan sao, no one is talking about tan is a receiving. So you have a 10,000 idea. Everybody have their idea and creativity, but their tan sao always is moving upward. While in the real life, the tan sao is receiving, because you need to get close. So proper action meaning, if the Sifu said Tan is receiving, then you do receiving, you practice receiving, you investigate, you examine, you test it out, the proper action, instead of sitting down there, have all kinds of ideas, all kinds of speculation, and doing things as one like, or don't even do anything. Sit down there like in the dim sum table. My hand technique this already yesterday. There are many of our friends who talk to me about the Vo2max measurement. They ignore I keeping saying that following the instruction of the, if you have a Garmin watch, you follow the Garmin instruction. If you have a Polar watch, you follow the Polar instruction. They forgot that. They just want to do their own way. Okay? So with this Qing type of mindset, which is doing whatever they want or sitting there speculating Vo2max and ignoring the standard instructions of either Garmin or Polar because they have the Vo2max test, every watch have their different instruction. And for mine, for this Amazfit T-Rex, I have put my way following the Amazfit T-Rex Pro in the under this channel in the community. It's all written up here. So people don't look into instruction, don't read it, don't comprehend, and of course they never do it. So they go here and then again the same Qing mindset. So today I choose to say this here out loud because you need to get rid of your Qing mindset if you want to really know what is Vo2max. You need to experience it. You need to follow instruction. It's not up for anybody to do whatever heck they want. Okay? If you don't follow the instructions of Garmin or Polar or the Amazfit T-Rex Pro, what are you measuring? And another thing is that, have you really run like 80% of your maximum heart rate for 20 minutes? Do you know how is the intensity of the run? The guy who just standing in the 一级考量嘛 clamping stand and cannot breathe, do you think they can run 20 minutes with a heart rate above their 80% of their maximum heart rate? So you need to follow the instruction, take the proper action in order to know what is Vo2max. Instead of go into the yum cha place and sit down there and talking, have the dim sum in one mouthful and talking about your tan sao, your whatever techniques on another hand. Okay, those are kiss of death. So this is a very major problem. What I see people today. No discipline, no training. It's not like the athletes today in the Western sports science or in the Olympic. You train, you have the standard, you train this way. So follow instructions and take the proper action. Until one measure one's Vo2max following the instruction and take proper action and confirm that measurement, one better don't talk. Because one don't know what it is. So this is one thing, okay? Don't get into those, tomorrow people will claim themselves as the grandmaster of Vo2max. It's nonsense, okay? And also the number here, it is not about competition. Even have high number, there's no big deal. You look at all the marathon runner, how they all have in the really high Vo2max number because they train, because they following instruction. So it's the same like the Western boxer who went to fight in Olympic. They follow the instruction, they train properly, they test it properly. Not sitting in the Chinese restaurant eating yum cha, drinking some tea, and then talk all nonsense. Okay. If you do that, the same mindset tomorrow, yesterday is 摊少 this way, my 摊少, my 小念頭, my stance, my 意志咁樣嘛. And then tomorrow is the same thing. The same action, the same thing. It's just changing. You no longer talk about 摊少 and all those things, you talk about Vo2max. But this is all talk. And yet, what is your Vo2max? People will say, oh, I guess so, I think so, I believe so. What the heck is talking about? So this has to avoid. Okay, I'm whining here because I see many people I don't know what is the Wing Chun education to get people into this sidetrack of the Qing mindset for past 60 years. Okay, If you look at the education system for sure is failing if you keeping having this kind of Qing mindset, okay? You will never be able to par with other martial art system, period, if one don't get rid of this Qing mindset. Now, when one have this Vo2max, why is it one need to have the proper one? I can share with you. Activity of your Wing Chun training is actually related to your Vo2max grade. Okay? You can go check in the website. You always have the Vo2max the fitness classifications like this one for male and female. And over here you have the rating of excellent, very good, good, average, fair, poor, very poor. And every age have a different Vo2max. Okay, so this is a scientific stuff. Now, one need to know this because if you want to train in momentum, okay, train in momentum, you need to have a good grade in Vo2max in order to do that. You want to do light sparring, like in our own dojo, we just do a light sparring with friend, for say 1 minute to 2 minutes or 3 minutes, depend. You need to have the level of Vo2max in the good level, or else you cannot handle your body. There's no way you can handle your body at that type of momentum or sparring demand. You can. If you want to do the full contact sparring, okay, like in Kyokushin and in Thai boxing and so forth, the full contact where you can KO people, you need to have a very good grade in the Vo2max. Of course, you measure your Vo2max and you look into this chart and see where you are. Okay. So if you want to have a full contact where people can get KO type of sparring, one need to have at least a very good Vo2max grading. Be it in Thai boxing, in Western boxing, in MMA, in Kyokushin, you need that, or else you cannot handle it. Your body is not fit enough to do that. If you want to go to ring fight, it's better to have an excellent Vo2max grading, which is the top. Okay, so by your age, it calculates for you what is your Vo2max at the say at excellent grade, and when you measure your Vo2max, you know where you are. You know what you can do. Okay. If one just have a good Vo2max and try to fight in the ring, you know he cannot last. And you know his body will not be able to move as fast because you simply don't have that the breathing, the endurance training, and so forth. So you need to have your Vo2max checks. That's the first thing. Now, a techniques in here. Say I have a momentum training. Shoot in, and then continuous sun punch, for example. I shoot in, get close, continuous sun punch where I'm moving. If I have a good Vo2max, great. That thing, that same combinations in the momentum, when one have an excellent Vo2max, that technique is a different techniques already, because in the excellent Vo2max grade, the body can move much faster than the good grade of the Vo2max. So even though you thinking, oh, the Sifu is or the guy who really train also doing, for example, okay, I shoot in, I do chain punch, and I shifting chain punch and everything. You think they are the same? Well, at the slow motion, at even under the good level or grade of Vo2max, everybody's doing slow. You think it's the same. You think that is the techniques. The issue is if that guy is have the excellent Vo2max grade, and we only have under good the Vo2max grade. In the sparring, forget about it, because his will be times faster than you to handle his body, and we couldn't even see it sometimes. So in the Chinese martial art today, say, well, you have to practice this slow, and then you have to have this power. You can demo in your seminar to a student who believe on you, or to those who never train, which have a who knows what type of Vo2max there. The people who don't even run, the people just sitting down there with a computer, and then the teacher will show you about this far jing and everything. You can do that. Okay, the demo looks good. However, when you face people like over here, like Mike Tyson, even a single jab, you know how fast is that thing? You know how fast his body is going to go close at you? You know how high is the intensity? Most people have no idea on this thing. They thought that technique is the techniques. That's why in the previous few video I say that techniques is just a very superficial stuff. You got a guy with under average Vo2max to perform that techniques. That is called techniques. When you get a guy who is have an excellent Vo2max to high speed, perform that act as a momentum, high speed one. So it's like if you drive a kid's car, like the baby's car, that the electric baby car where you drive in for the baby to drive in the living room of us. All kids have that. Then the kids can go, I can turn left, I can turn right, I can go forward, I can go backward. Okay? Well, everybody know how to do it. I know how to turn left, I have to turn right, I know how to go forward, I can go backward, I can corner in my living room. You compare those with those racer, okay? Those real car racer, when they do left, right, forward, backward, and corner, that is a complete different thing, okay? So in a real fight, you expect this. You don't have this training, forget about it. Don't get into those, I have this internal chi. I will end the fight in 3 seconds. Sure, you can end the fight in the 3 seconds if you don't know where is your Vo2max and your opponent is like Mike Tyson, who have the excellent Vo2max. He's practically like a move in the analogy like a light speed where one don't even see what is coming at one. You're going to end the fight in 3 seconds. Sure, you're going to get KO in 3 seconds. So that is the reason why this Vo2max is important. For those who don't have a good Vo2max, they need to work until they have that before they go light sparring, in my understanding. You want to go full contact, where people can get knocked out, KO without guard, like in Kyokushin or Thai boxing, better to have a Vo2max are very good. Otherwise, your body cannot take it. You don't have that speed. because all the competitor, the opponent who fight you is up here. So face the reality. So ask the question, okay? I'm not putting down anybody here. If you train your Xiu Lim Tao, you train your wooden dummy, you train your Qi Sao, will you get to this the good grade of Vo2max? And even if you just do some light sparring, will you be able to get this to the very good where you can really face somebody when they do KO type of sparring? So that is the why we need the Vo2max. In the one way, we know our breathing and the cardiorespiratory systems, how it function. It is for our own safety. On another way, we know what we want to get in, what we don't want to get in. Like I'm today, am I going to get in with a young guy with this have a very excellent Vo2max in the ring fight? Of course not. You know your age. You know you cannot do it. Just by the cardiorespiratory grade or the Vo2max grade, you know that you are not at that grade or that level of development. You don't have that fitness. So this is a reality. So for Wing Chun, for past 60, 70 years, the education is no good. And now we don't blame, but we have to move on. Drop the Qing mindset, install the Vo2max, know where we are. And also, when we do Vo2max, like the Garmin here, it always have an instruction. It is in the operating manual, the user manual of Polar or Garmin. They have a different Polar, have a running test and everything. Now, anybody who never been doing the Vo2max test, because Vo2max test can be stressful for people too, can be strain and stress for people. You start with slow. If you couldn't even complete the Vo2max test, stop and go train properly before go back again. If one have never take a test in the Vo2max, one might not be able to get it because one is like as I share in this grade, in the Vo2max grade, one might be in very poor condition, a very poor grade, and one couldn't even complete a, a standard Vo2max test by Garmin or by Polar or by other like the Fitbit, Firstbit. Firstbit is a company who have deep into the sports science and the technology, which is really respectable today. They have their criteria, their definitions, their technology, what you should do, and so forth, so forth. So that again, that's follow instruction, doing the proper thing, learning something. One need to learn and experience and confirm. Okay, so as the other day I talking about, one need to know how to develop it and confirm it. That is the thing of learning. Instead of without learning anything, sit down in the yum cha Chinese restaurant with the yum cha dim sum one in the mouthful, and then the hand is playing like that. Those are I call Qing mindset. They don't have nothing to do. Okay, just sit down there. Look at those Qing people. They do that. And also this thing. One need to aware of this. Don't simply go down there. I want to practice momentum training. Check your your Vo2max first. If you cannot do it, don't do it. And even for the test for the Vo2max test, check with one's medical doctor if one do not know one's condition, like overweight, having asthma, have a heart issue or anything. Don't do this thing, because that's why I said following the instructions of the Garmin and Polar and all this wearable. This is no joke thing, okay? This is to know your health, but you need to have that up to that level to be able to complete the test. Over here for your momentum, your sparring, your fight, you need that body, the fitness level. So I hope that I share this with you, make it really clear for you already. Follow the sport science. Don't this is not Qing 1980 1800 Qing 1800 where everybody sit down there and keeping talking in Canton somewhere or in Beijing somewhere. Okay, this is have a standard now, which is a sport science.